It involves Caitlin Clark and quite possibly the President of the United States himself.
The WNBA just experienced something absolutely unprecedented. If you told me that it would happen, I wouldn't believe my ears. But that's happening. Stephen A. Smith has just dropped a bomb that has the entire WNBA shaking.
Government investigation looming over this league, the WNBA and Caitlin Clark's civil rights.
Stephen A. Smith didn't just call out the WNBA. He suggested the federal government and Donald Trump himself should step in the entire investigation process. Yes, Donald Trump, the President of the United States. You heard that right?
That's the three big examples of why, yeah, I could understand the government wanting to at least take a look.
The most powerful sports analyst laying out the roadmap for the federal investigation process. Indiana Senator Jim Banks is already writing letters demanding answers. The Wall Street Journal is calling it a civil rights violation.
If the league won't act to protect its superstar from a hostile environment, the government should do so.
Things have gone absolutely insane. There are whispers that this entire federal push might be orchestrated. This is going to be crazy.
There's physicality in basketball. I've watched it, the 90s. Before that, I mean, the Jordan Bad Boy Pistons, they beat the crap out of Jordan. They did.
So guys, in this video, we are going to talk about the President of the United States potentially stepping in to protect America's basketball diva. So stay tuned, because what happens next could literally change professional sports forever. And if you think it's time for justice, drop a justice for CC in the comments.
We've got a professional league that one could argue is not run professionally.
For over a year now, we have been watching Caitlin Clark absolutely brutalized on the court. There have been blatant attempts to physically torture her and assault her.
The golden child in her second year in the league, who was top 4 in MVP voting last year, the assist leader last year.
Just imagine a 22-year-old girl stepping into the WNBA with extreme passion and dedication for basketball in her eyes. She gave the game her sweat, blood, and tears, and earned the love of millions of fans in a short span of time. She became Rookie of the Year, but some people couldn't handle her success. They couldn't digest how someone out of the blue could overpower them and turn them into shadows. They knew that they couldn't surpass her in the game, so they came up with a new strategy. They started using cheap tactics, excessive physicality against her to break her physically.
Kennedy Carter's slam into the side of Caitlin Clark while you have the ball over here being weighted to be inbounds.
And the most annoying thing is that those attempted physical assaults were not given fouls by the referees. They were either given no calls or downgraded to common fouls when they should have been called flagrant fouls. And what did the WNBA do? Nothing. Yes, nothing at all. This woman increased merchandise sales 601%, boosted viewership 170%, and brought in $11 million in endorsements. She literally became the economic engine of the entire league, but they did absolutely nothing to protect her.
Sophie Cunningham told the Wall Street Journal the star player of the league is not being protected. Rebecca Lobo, analyst, ESPN. Every single one of those plays against Caitlin Clark has been a foul.
If you guys don't remember, let me just tell you about some attacks that crossed the line from basketball into straight-up assault. Kennedy Carter slammed into Clark's side while she held the ball waiting for inbound. That's not it. She called her names as well and trucked her also.
Being weighted to be inbounds. She called her a bitch and slammed into the side of her. That's not, there's no world where you can act like that is a basketball play.
Diamond DeShields leveled Clark with a blindside hit, catching her completely off guard while Clark was nowhere near the ball.
Caitlin Clark is trying to cut in this position right here, and Diamond DeShields just body checks her. Like, it's a foul. This sequence of play was wild. Absolutely, absolutely wild.
Marina Mabrey straight up assaulted Clark with no basketball being played whatsoever. And let's not forget when Dijonai Carrington caught Clark with a finger to the eye while she was passing the ball. And surprisingly, no foul was called, and Clark ended up with a visible black eye by the end of the game.
Dijonai Carrington is standing on her.
And here we are now. Thanks to this systematic campaign of brutality and the WNBA's silent blessing, their mission has been accomplished.
Is it incompetence from the officials, or is it purposeful incompetence? Because there's cheddar on the line.
Clark is sidelined with groin and quad injuries.
Caitlin Clark out yet again with a left groin injury, her own team, despite profiting off her immensely, is against her.
They broke her physically, her body finally succumbing to months of relentless targeting. The league that should have protected its brightest star instead allowed her enemies to break her down piece by piece. That was the limit, and it has finally been reached. Someone finally spoke up, and it wasn't just anyone. It was the most powerful voice in sports media.
A galvanizing talent that has done wonders for the NBA. If she is seen to be physically getting abused on a basketball court, that man is not going to say something?
Steven didn't simply call out WNBA. He laid out exactly how this Caitlin Clark situation is about to become President Trump's next political weapon. The prediction was crystal clear. Caitlin Clark gonna make national news. Caitlin Clark is going to be politicized. It's coming. I can smell it. And then came the nuclear bomb. You don't think Caitlin Clark could become an issue of national, potentially international, and definitely federal proportions?
Caitlin Clark will make national news. Caitlin Clark is going to be politicized. It's coming. I can smell it. And you see how big my nose is.
This wasn't random commentary. This was a calculated warning shot fired directly at the league's leadership. Think about it. Stephen A. has never suggested federal intervention in sports before, but he's watching the same systematic destruction we've all witnessed and realizes the WNBA has pushed this beyond sports into civil rights territory. Here's why Stephen A.'s analysis is brilliant. We are dealing with professional basketball, which is followed by millions of fans all across the globe. But the most ironic and disturbing thing is that it is not run professionally. When millions of people are involved, their money, their energies are involved, then the government has to step in.
The millions upon millions of dollars that's been spent on Caitlin Clark by people that have traveled to try to see her play.
Donald Trump himself must step in. The dirty play is staggering. Millions upon millions of dollars have been spent on Caitlin Clark. Fans travel to see her play, and then she can't play because of this dirty play and systematic bullying and assault. The WNBA advertises her in games, moves arenas, creates massive hype, then allows their star to get destroyed.
She is the only ticket draw in the WNBA. A large percentage of all tickets sold in the WNBA are so people can watch Caitlin Clark play basketball.
And the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to admit is that many of these women don't like the fact that Clark is white and straight.
Caitlin Clark is probably like the first white woman in history to experience racism. Not only does she literally get physically targeted during games, but social media analysts and journalists love to undermine her greatness whenever they can.
And guess what? That's absolutely a civil rights issue. Remember Candace Wiggins? She got bullied out of the league for being straight.
People forget about Candace Wiggins. She got bullied out of the league because she was straight. You have a racial component and you have a sexual preference component.
It creates the perfect storm for federal intervention.
Smith also suggested President Donald Trump could use such an investigation to solidify support among his followers. Guaranteed.
This is political gold for Trump. A young, talented white woman getting brutalized while league leadership does nothing? Trump will use this. Trump's leadership can cash this. Remember they politicized Colin Kaepernick over kneeling during the national anthem when he never interfered with anything during the actual game?
They politicized Colin Kaepernick over kneeling for the national anthem.
Now we have a young white woman getting beaten up during live basketball games. He got to do something. Millions of eyes are upon him. Millions of dollars are at stake. Trump must do something, and it is going to be a win-win situation for either of them.
You think you can definitively rule out what kind of noise can be made if the WNBA continues to allow this treatment of Caitlin Clark? You really think they're going to be silent?
If Trump gets involved, it is going to be crazy. The WNBA would face a total destruction.
Is going to be rooted in this sort of nastiness with regard to its only real star. Good luck to them. And we'll see what the viewership is like in the WNBA.
Imagine Kathy Engelbert getting grilled on national TV about why she allowed America's basketball sensation to get brutalized while the league profited from her name. Congress could strip the WNBA's special broadcast privileges, and the league could face Colombian-level settlements, $221 million or more in civil rights violations that would bankrupt the league instantly.
Been saying this, my goodness. Caitlin Clark could sue this league, guys.
We're witnessing history in making. The WNBA's war on Caitlin Clark is about to become Trump's war on institutional discrimination. The league that should be protecting their golden goose is doing nothing. And now they have just handed the president his next political agenda. This is what happens when you mess with a generational talent, when you mess with someone millions hold dearly. The fight is about to get FEDERAL. What do you think? Is Trump about to demolish the WNBA to protect CC? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications, because this story is exploding